Alright guys, a bunch of brand new Yu-Gi-Oh cards came out. We got Novell stuff, Dinosaur stuff, which I'm actually most excited about, and some new HORUS archetype, but I'm super excited to go and check these out. I've been playing a lot of Diablo before, honestly, for the past couple days. But anyways, brand new Yu-Gi-Oh cards, so I'm super excited to see if these are going to be actually shaping up the meta. So starting right off, we have the Poisonnaire D Novell. So it's a level 1 Dark Fairy Pendulum. Effect monster, 700 attack, 1700 defense points. Pendulum scale is a level 8, or scale of 8. And then pendulum effect is you can only use the pendulum effect of this card's name once per turn. The first part is, if you control a ritual monster, you get to target one monster in the field and special summon this card, then change the targeted monster's battle pose. Does this mean you can flip it face down? I mean, if it's just, you know, attack defense, then that really doesn't matter, but, if you can flip it face down, I don't know if you can actually change it to face down. Anyways, if you can, it's good. If you can't, well, that's not as good. Monster effect is, you can only use the first monster effect of this card's name once per turn. The first part is, if this card is normal or special summon, you get to activate one of these effects. Add one level 1 ritual monster or one recipe card from your deck to your hand. You get to banish any number of recipe cards from your graveyard. If you do, special one Novell's ritual monster from your hand with a level equal to the number banished. And then the second part is, if this card on the field is tributed and added to the extra deck face up, you can place it in your pendulum slot. Okay, so you get easy pendulum effect just to be able to, you know, move something. I think that's like an okay effect. Again, if this effect does let you go face down, it's much better. And then next up we have the, oh my gosh, what is this? Confectionery Contest? Okay. Anyways, quick play spell card that says you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. First part says, special summon a Novell's Pendulum monster and one Peticiel Pendulum monster from your hand, deck, and or extra deck. One on each field. Also, you cannot use monsters as material for a fusion, synchro, exceed, or link summon for the rest of the turn except for Novell's and Peticiel's monsters. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one face-up monster on the field that gains 200 attack for each recipe card in the graveyards. Okay, so I'm not sure how many you'd be able to get, maybe like 3 or 4. So maybe, I mean, if you get 5, it's like 1,000, but overall, I guess getting one monster on each board could be actually good, because if you give something like your opponent maybe something trash and you can just like pierce it and just be like GG, that would be pretty nasty. Next up though, this is what I'm the most excited about, which is the Transcend Dinosaurs Exoraptor, which is coming out in AGOV. So it's a Link 3 Dinosaur Link effect monster, 3000 attack, and its materials are going to be 2+ dinosaur monsters, including a level 6 or higher monster. So you're going to have to use maybe like a boss monster, or I think Coatlas might be a target, right? I'm going to double check on this because people just phased out Coatlas like a long time ago. Okay, it's a 7, so it does work. Okay, so the one thing I wanted to check, or what are the, is it the new Apex? They had a couple other like new dinosaurs. Transcend Drake, that's what they were called. Let me double check on these targets. Transcend Drake? What is it? Okay, the Meteors. This one could be summoned pretty easy if I remember correctly. Anyways, that's a level 12. Okay, just had to check the levels. Okay, so that's what the requirements are to summon this. It says you can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. The first part is, if this card is special summon, you get to special summon one dinosaur monster from your hand. Okay, that's really not that bad of a fact, just any dinosaur from the hand. And then the second part is, if a face-up dinosaur monster or monsters this card points to is destroyed by battle or sent to the graveyard, you get to draw one card. Okay, so the points to, okay, so as far as it goes, it's 3000, it's a Link 3, but the zones are on the top, left, right. You don't really go for too many links and dinos. I know there was like a stepping stone for Link Karibo, but for the most part, yeah, you really don't go for links in dinosaurs, other than like Bow of the Goddess, right? Next up though, yeah, it has to be point to it. Dang, so you'd have to make something else and then go for the secondary and then point to it, and only, it has to be destroyed by battle. Or sent to the graveyard. Okay, so you can just like pop it via other effects like Oviraptor, but like this is so late in the combo to make this card, right? More than likely you've already gone through those effects. And the third part is, if this card is destroyed, you shuffle a normal monster from your graveyard into the deck, then you could just special summon this card. Okay, well at least you gotta bring this card back. And then if it's already in like a position where like you can use it for later, I don't know. The first part of the effect has maybe some potential. Like if you go for, let's say, a what is the one that pierces? A Pentastag is like the one that I would make sometimes, right? When you get the, you know, Conductor Tyrannoboss. But at that point, you're just OTKing anyways. So I don't know. I feel like this card's kind of bad and like maybe niche, but like it supports like the normal. I don't really like playing the vanillas though. But that's my thoughts on the new dinosaur. Kind of a big disappointment. Sweet artwork though. I'll give you that. Next up though, we have more support for the VS, the Vanquishing Soul. So this is also coming out in AGOV. So Vanquishing Soul Jiao Long, going to be a level 5 Fire Worm effect monster, 24 attack, 21 defense points. So you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. Also, they cannot be activated in the same chain. If you reveal card or cards in the hand to activate Vanquish Soul card's effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. Okay, pretty simple. Second part is, as a quick effect, you can activate one of these effects by revealing a monster or monsters in your hand with the listed attributes. So it's fire, you get to change the battle position of one monster in the field. Fire and fire. What? Okay, you get to add one Vanquish Soul card from your deck to your hand, except for Vanquish Soul Jiao Long. Next up though, we have Vanquish Soul Snow Devil, which will probably be changed into like something family friendly, the flowers. Anyways, a normal trap card that says you can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. First part is to reveal up to 3 monsters in your hand. 1 dark, 1 earth, and 1 fire. Okay, so I'm just trying to think about hand traps. I'm like, okay, well, we got Maxi, and then if you're playing on, I guess, I was about to say Dueling Network. If we were playing on Master Duel, and then 1 fire, you got the Ash Blossom, but the dark depends on your archetype. Anyways, apply these effects in sequence based on the number revealed. So if you reveal 1, you get to inflict 400, then you can special summon a Vanquish Soul monster from your hand. 2, you get to inflict 600 damage to your opponent. Also, Vanquish Soul monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects this turn. Okay, that one, maybe not that bad, but you have to, remember, you'd have to just keep 3 of these cards in your hand. And then the third effect is to inflict 800 damage to your opponent, then you destroy all monsters on the field. And what that'd be including it would be like all of your opponent's monsters, maybe. I don't know, I think that's a little bit conditional. Having 3 cards in your hand and this, that's literally 4 cards. You might as well throw in 5 and just Exodia your opponent. Anyways, next up though, we've got these new HORUS archetype. This is, I think, going to be pretty hype, at least for the artwork. Next up, so this is all coming out in AGOV as well. So we have Mseti, Glory of HORUS. So it's a dark spellcaster effect. Oh, is that like the what is that? HORUS, the Black Flame Dragon, right? That was like the one card that I remember that saw some play that was like the level monster, right? Dark spellcaster effect, level 8, 3000, 1800 defense. You can only special summon this card's name with its first effect once per turn. You can only use the second and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. So the first part is you control a Pharaonic Sarcophagus. You can special summon this card from your graveyard. Second part is you can send 2 cards from your hand to the graveyard, including this card, to add 1 Pharaonic Sarcophagus from your deck to your hand, then draw 1 card. Okay. Third part is if a card or cards you control leaves the field by an opponent's card effect while you control this monster, you can send 1 card on the field to the graveyard. Okay. That has some potential because it's just another card you control leaves the field, but it has to be by an opponent's card effect, so maybe they'd make something that would stop this, but nonetheless, it has some potential for some disruptions. Next up, though, we have the Blessing of HORUS, which is a water beast, level 800. You can only special summon this card with its first effect once per turn. You can only use the third effect of this card's name once per turn. So the first part is if you control Pharaonic Sarcophagus, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. Okay, so as long as you control this, you just get a bunch of free monsters. We'll have to check out what that Pharaonic Sarcophagus is in a moment here, but the second part is it gains 1200 attack and defense for each HORUS monster you control. So it's okay, so more likely it'll be at least like 2400. And then the third part is if a monster, if another card or cards you control leaves the field by an opponent's card effect while you control this monster, you can draw cards equal to the number to the monsters with different names in your main monster zones. That one has some potential. If you can have like a bunch of monsters out and your opponent disrupts one plane, it doesn't happen to be this one. I mean, there's cool potential. Next up, though, we have Happy, the Vanguard of HORUS, which is a Wind Beast Warrior effect, level 8, 2400 attack, and 1600 defense points. And it says that you can only special summon this card's name with its first effect once per turn, and you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. So the first part is you control a Pharaonic Sarcophagus. You can special summon a card from your... All of them have that effect? I mean, you just swarm the board every single time as long as you control that card. If another card or cards you control leaves the field by an opponent's card effect while you control this card, or while you control this monster, you target 2 cards that are banished and or in the graveyards. Either add both to their owner's hand or shuffle both into the deck. Ooh. Ooh, that's pretty good. Just putting 2 cards, just being able to add, that's so insane. It just says in either graveyard, so you can banish them both, but like, that effect is absolutely insane. Just 2 cards in the graveyard, 2 hand traps, right back to the hand. What? That card's actually insane. Okay, and remember, you get to just summon this card instantly, as long as you control, which I'm guessing is probably, like, I don't know, is a field spell. Next up, we have Quebisenyuf, Aegis of Horus, Earth, Winged Beast, effect, level 8, 2500, 2000. You can only special summon this card's name with the first effect once per turn. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. So the first part is you control Pharaonic Sarcophagus, you special summon it from your graveyard. Second part is, if another card or cards you control leaves the field by an opponent's card effect while you control this monster, you can activate this effect. This turn, your opponent's monsters can't target Horus monsters in the field for attacks. Also, they can't target them with card effects. Okay, pretty solid card. I'm still just thinking about this one, because if it said that, like, you could not target, like, non-Horus cards, then I'd be like, okay, it was, like, part of the argument. But, like, this is just insanely powerful. Okay, so here is Pharaonic Sarcophagus. If this card sucks, the whole archetype just falls apart, right? So this continuous spell card. It says, you can only use the second effect of this card's name up to 4 times per turn. Okay, so the first part is Horus monsters you control can't be destroyed by card effects unless they target them. Okay. Second part is, you get to send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard to send a Horus monster from your deck to... Oh, you have insane consistency! And you gotta dump a card from your hand, so maybe you can get some sort of bonus, right? Because they all just spell summon themselves, right? And the third part is, once per turn, at the start of the damage step, if your Horus monster battles an opponent's monster, you can send that opponent's monster to the graveyard. What? This, okay, this kind of busted, okay? It is a once per turn, but the fact that you get to just... send that opponent's monster to the graveyard, everything gets to rebring itself back. You just dump 1, you send 1 to dump anything from the entire deck. So you have Foolish Burial, and it's a continuous, remember? It's not like a once per turn, and it's 4 times per turn. What? Okay, you can only use the second effect 4 times per turn. I mean, there is so much potential for this, maybe even in other archetypes. Because remember, you just bring out all the monsters and you just link. Dude, I think this archetype is beyond broken. What were they thinking? 4 times to have 4 dumps? And like, again, you get to send, that 1 card that you send doesn't have to be a Horus card. It's just anything. Dude, this is, like, remember, there's, I don't remember, I'll have to double check if the Fabled is, I think, is Fabled sending to the graveyard or discarding? I think it's, like, discard, right? I think they're mostly, like, a discard when you discard these cards, right? And then sending doesn't count as discards. But there's probably other archetypes. I don't know. I don't want to make this video too long because we're still not done. We still got more, okay? Next up, though, we have the Canopic Protector, which is a continuous trap card. It says you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. First part is, once per chain, when your opponent activates a card or effect, you just special summon 1 Horus monster from your hand or graveyard. And if you do this turn, you cannot special summon another monster with the same original name with the effect of Canopic Protector. Second part says, if this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, you can send it, but banish it when it leaves the field. Oh, just throw an Imperial on wall, but no one would probably play that card anyways. I think this is amazing, guys. It's just this card is 4 times per turn. Insane. Absolutely insane. And the third effect, like, yeah, you just get to get rid of any problematic card, because you basically swarm the board, and if they get rid of anything, and then on top of that, they cannot be destroyed unless your opponent targets them. There's probably other cards we make so you can't target them, but nonetheless, I think this archetype's got insane potential. You just swarm the board for free links every single turn. It's basically like a pen without pen. Okay, they at least made it good, though, because I thought these artwork was really cool, and I was like, please make it actually usable. Anyways, that's gonna wrap it up. If you guys enjoyed it, drop a like. If you want to see gameplay maybe of this archetype coming out after maybe we get level 100 in Diablo 4, we'll do it. Okay, anyways, thanks for watching. If you guys want to watch some more Diablo stuff, check out my other second channel down below, because that's what I've been honestly grinding. So sorry this video was like out a day late. Anyways, see you guys in the next video. Peace!